あなたが元気でやっている様子をきちんと伝えなさい。
アスタロト様、行く前にキュッとしていいですか？
ちゅうぐらいやっとけば。
いいずか？いいっすね。
ダメに決まってるでしょ。
This season is no joke. I mean, just look how many isekai shows are there in this season. So without wasting any time, I present you top 10 transferred to another world anime. Before starting the list, just note that almost every show from the list is new and still ongoing. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Also hit that notification bell so that you can stay updated whenever I upload a new video. Now sit back, relax and enjoy the video. Let's start our list with The Girl in Twilight. The urban legend says, if you use radio player in front of the sacred tree at specific time, you get transported to a different dimension. Our protagonist and her friends decide to perform this ritual, and apparently, it works. They get transferred to a parallel world known as Fragment. Our protagonist meets her parallel self, and she tells them about the great danger hovering over the worlds. Even though having powerful ideas and deep characters, I feel storyline is little on the average side. But overall it's a decent and also an underrated show to enjoy and have a good time.
You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down.
In 9th place, we have The World Ends With You, the animation. Our protagonist with a hobby for music and graffiti wakes up in the Tokyo-like district with no idea why he's there. He opens his hand to realize he is holding a strange black pen. Later he discovers that he's able to read the minds of others. His cell phone starts ringing, and he notices a strange message on the phone. He gets thrown into the Reaper game of death with a time span of 7 days. I know it's pretty early to judge the anime, but I must say, the start is pretty interesting. Also, the added touch of colorful characters and animation helps in portraying the appropriate ambience. In 8th place, we have The Saint's magic power is omnipotent. Our protagonist, who's an office worker, gets transferred to a whole new world. Unfortunately, the ritual which summoned her meant to produce a saint who would banish the dark magic. Also, the ritual brings to people instead of one, and everyone prefers the second girl over her. Left with no other choice, she leaves the palace and set up a potion and cosmetic shop with her newly found magic. Well, initially it seems typical isekai show, but certain added elements of slice of life moments and potions makes it rather different. It's difficult to find good shows with female protagonists nowadays. Also, I feel it's a decent adaptation of light novels so far.
But gravity pulls you straight down.
Coming at the 7th place, we have Slime 300. Suddenly dying from overwork, our protagonist finds herself before an angel. She reincarnates her into a new world. As an immortal witch, she spends hundreds of years killing slimes for money and experience. She soon realizes that she has reached the maximum level, fearing that her strong abilities will attract work and force her back to a life of overexertion. She decides to hide her strength, even though having a lot of similarities to the previous show. This particular one stands out for the comedic elements. Overall, I feel if you want to start watching something cute and wholesome, you would like this one. Do give it a try, but do keep in mind, like many other shows from the list, this is also an ongoing one. In 6th place, we have Combatants Will Be Dispatched. It's tough being on the front lines for an evil organization, and nobody knows this better than our protagonist, who's a combatant for the Kisaragi Secret Society. With his new android partner, he gets dispatched to a distant alien world. Now first he has to do something about the other group of villains on the planet, calling themselves the Demon Lord's Army. After all, this world doesn't need to evil organizations. If you're expecting heavy action, well, you might get disappointed. This show is heavily oriented towards comedy. Also, the characters are well established and very funny. In other words, you can call them an organization of goofy characters. Moving on, we have Full Dive. In an unexpected turn of events, our protagonist obtains the Full Dive role-playing game Kiwami Quest. But this game is too lifelike. Even the damage taken in the game affects you in real life. Also, his abilities in this adventure sucks as much as they do in daily life. Consumed with winning, he swears he'll conquer this game even if it kills him. I feel the plot overall is decent. Also, the animation seems good. We have another similar setup like other popular show, but I must say the start is pretty solid with little bit of surprise element. I recommend you to start with this show and decide it for yourself. In fourth place, we have Nobunaga Concerto. Our protagonist is a carefree high school student. One day he finds himself thrown back in time to the Sengoku era. He lands in front of the legendary General Oda Nobunaga, who's on the run from his retainers. By seeing the similarities in their looks, he asks our protagonist to take his place. Nobunaga provides him with the necessary items to prove that he is the bona fide feudal lord. Now he begins his quest to pretend to be the man who tried to unite all of Japan. If we neglect the little unusual art style, I feel this show is simply amazing. From the storyline to the characters, it won't disappoint you. Definitely an underrated anime, in my opinion.
Can't blame the people for trying. Just let me fall to my grave.
Coming at the third place, we have Welcome to Demon School. Our protagonist is a very unfortunate boy who has to work even though he's underage. One day he gets sold to a demon Sullivan by his parents. He gets relieved knowing that Demon only wanted a grandchild whom he can pamper and make him attend the demon school. He tries to keep a low profile, but soon he finds out his demon grandfather is actually a chairman of the school. And now everyone sees our protagonist as a new demon king. I feel the plot is more oriented towards comedy than action. You guys must be familiar with this show already. Also, now the season 2 is out. I feel it's a perfect time to revisit this anime. In second place, we have Tokyo Revengers. Our protagonist is a freelancer. He finds out that his ex-girlfriend had been killed by the Tokyo Manji gang. Standing on the station platform, he ends up falling onto the tracks by a herd of people. He closes his eyes thinking he's about to die, but somehow he goes back in time. Now he decides to save his girlfriend, while changing himself that he'd been running away from. It's very rare to find gang setups in anime nowadays, with amazingly constructed plot and sharp characters. I feel this is going to be the anime of the season. Do give it a try and let me know your thoughts.
Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher.
In first place, we have To Your Eternity. A mysterious immortal being is sent to Earth with no emotions and identity. It's able to take shape of anything it sees. Starting from a rock, it ends up taking the shape of an animal. Finally, it gains consciousness, and it starts exploring the empty land. He meets a boy who lives alone in a ghost town. People abandoned this place in search of the paradise, said to exist far beyond the endless sea. Acquiring the form of the boy, it sets off on a never-ending journey in search of new experiences, places, and people. From the first episode, I must say, this is truly a masterpiece. From characters to animation Even the storyline is just amazing. I personally have high hopes from this one.
What I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Fell in love with my broken pieces. Took 'em all.
That's all for today's list, guys. I hope you must have enjoyed the video. Show your support by dropping a like and subscribing to my channel. Also follow me on my social media accounts to stay updated. In the end, you all stay happy and I will see you in the next video. See ya.